The Ghost Bride, a young adult paranormal fantasy novel, penned by Yangsze Choo in 2013, revolves around the story of a young girl compelled to marry a ghost in order to rescue her deceased husband's soul from the clutches of malevolent entities. The book garnered multiple award nominations, including the 2014 Carnegie Medal and the 2014 Myopic Fantasy Award. Yangsze Choo, a Chinese novelist adept at writing for both teenage and adult audiences, boasts a background in education from Harvard University and prior experience as a management consultant. The Ghost Bride stands as her debut and most acclaimed work. Set in the late 1800s in the British colonial port town of Malacca, Malaysia, the narrative follows the life of its protagonist, Li Lan. Bound by societal expectations, Li faces limited career prospects and remains reliant on her family's dwindling wealth. Unfortunately, her father, once a prosperous businessman, has succumbed to addiction, pushing the family toward the precipice of poverty. Li's only prospect for a more promising future hinges on marriage to a wealthy suitor, yet her lack of a substantial dowry deters most eligible suitors. Despite her physical beauty, her inability to bring financial assets to a prospective union poses a significant obstacle. However, the Lim family emerges as a glimmer of hope. They see past Li's financial limitations and propose a marriage alliance between her and their son, Lim Tianqing. With a peculiar twist, he is deceased. The Lims intend for Li to become a ghost bride, a living woman who weds a deceased man to appease his restless spirit. Lim Tian's haunting presence torments his family, and they believe that by marrying Li, he may find solace and leave them in peace. Li, conflicted and fearful of living as a widow in perpetuity, is reluctant to accept this fate. She resists the union with Lim Tian, who ardently loves her and persistently invades her dreams, convincing her that he is the only suitable match for her. While her resolve weakens in the face of such persistent persuasion, Li grapples with her terrifying predicament, desperate to find a way out. In the midst of these complexities, Li crosses paths with Tian Bai, Lim Tian's cousin, a handsome and kind-hearted individual who now stands as the heir to the Lim family estate. Secretly harboring a desire to wed Tian Bai instead, Li finds herself thwarted by the family's adamant prohibition. They assert that marrying Lim Tian remains the sole means to salvage the family's fortunes and liberate his soul from eternal torment. Adding a layer of complication, Tian Bai also harbors affection for Li, further fueling his determination to circumvent the impending marriage to Lim Tian. As preparations for the wedding ceremony get underway within the Lim family, it becomes apparent that marrying Lim Tian entails a journey to the spirit world for the nuptials. To navigate this realm and ensure her safe return, Li is assigned a spirit guide named Lang. In their initial encounter, Lang leads Li through the plains of the dead, offering her profound insights into the afterlife and the arduous journey of departed souls, many of whom suffer much like Lim Tian. This realm, known as a purgatory, serves as a temporary abode for anguished spirits awaiting their transition. Li contemplates the possibility of unearthing the source of Lim Tian's suffering within the plains of the dead, hoping that by resolving his issues and alleviating his torment, he might progress to the next phase of existence, freeing her to pursue a union with Tian Bai. Yet, Lim Tian's infatuation with Li prevents him from seeking release. Instead, he relentlessly draws her into the spirit world, often without the guidance of Lang. These unsupervised visits exact a toll on her soul, placing her in perilous jeopardy. Prolonged exposure to the spirit world could ultimately result in her demise. As Li grapples with the urgency of freeing herself from Lim Tian's clutches, she inadvertently falls for Lang, her steadfast companion and confidant. He emerges as the only male figure genuinely concerned about her well-being. However, a formidable obstacle arises in the form of her father's objection to a union with Lang, given the latter's deceased status and lack of financial resources. Adding to the complications, Lim Tian's jealousy now fuels his desire to obliterate Lang's soul, driven by the anguish of witnessing Li's affection for her spirit guide. Unless Li discovers a means to bring solace to Lim Tian's restless spirit, she risks losing her cherished friend. Simultaneously, Tian Bai's affections for Li grow possessive, and his inability to win her over fosters resentment, leading him to make her life increasingly challenging. Li discerns his true nature, realizing that he is far from the kind of man she would want to marry. As she resists his advances and distances herself from him, Tian Bai's anger escalates, leaving Li to contemplate the unsettling possibility that he may resort to extreme measures to ensure no one else can have her. Amidst these trials, Li begins unraveling the dark secrets shrouding the Lim family. Her investigation unveils their involvement in a perilous criminal conspiracy, revealing that Lim Tian's demise was not accidental. By uncovering the truth surrounding his death, Li ultimately brings him the peace needed to transition to the afterlife. With Lim Tian's spirit at rest, Li arrives at a profound decision to marry Lang. However, their union remains private and remains undisclosed to the world. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.